LawzMarketplace.com, the site where the tribes unite. Check out fresh Israelite apparel for both men and women, with new items added frequently. Don't forget to join the marketplace so you can promote your own products and services. Kwam Yasha'Allah.
Shalom, family. The soul food topic on tonight is having to be weaned off of the junk food doctrines. Our people are spiritually, our people have diabetes. Spiritually, our people have high blood pressure because they are on these junk food diets. Junk food doctrines, I want to say, junk food doctrines. These belief systems that we cleave to that do us no good. They're not healthy spiritually. They're not founded in the scripture. It's just something that we have attached ourselves to, and we just run after. And we got to be weaned off this stuff, man. We got to be weaned off the junk food. If you have diabetes, if you have any of these ailments, in order for you to try to reverse the damage that's been done, you have to change your diet completely. All of the pork fat and all of the, just unhealthy foods, the greasy foods that you've been eating for all these years to get diabetes, you have to kick it. You have to get rid of it. So in the same way, on a spiritual level, we have to be weaned off of these junk food doctrines. Christianity, Islam, Egyptology, African spiritualism, just a different myriad of doctrines and beliefs that our people cleave to, that they, just jump on. Sometimes they mix and match, kind of like a buffet line. You know what I'm saying? You grab your plate and you go up to the buffet, table, and you just grab whatever, looks good. That's what our people do. And they pile up their plate with different beliefs and doctrines and ideals and theologies and whatnot. And, it's kind of, I just follow my truth. My truth is not your truth, it's the truth. You should be seeking after the truth. So we as a people, as the nation of Israel, have to be weaned off of the junk food doctrines and come back to the statutes and commandments of our God. Okay, so first I'm gonna go to Isaiah chapter 55 and read verses 1 through 3. I'll have you read that. Isaiah chapter 55 verses 1 through 3.
What was the title?
Having to be weaned off of the junk food doctrines. Having to be weaned off of the junk food doctrines. And again, the scripture is Isaiah 55 verses 1 through 3.
55, 1 through 3. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yeah, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the mercies of David.
The sure mercies of
The
David.
sure mercies of David, I'm sorry.
Okay. So you see here the writer is saying, imploring the nation of Israel that, stop eating that which is not bread, meaning food that is not food. So if you were to look at these false doctrines as the food we eat here in Babylon, it's processed. It's full of GMOs, MSG. You know what I'm saying? It's homogenized and pasteurized, and it's been chemically altered. The food that we eat, defiled bread, it's been chemically altered. So in the same way, these religions, a lot of them have some sort of fundamental basis of the Bible, but not following the truth of the Bible. Mormonism, modern Christianity, Catholicism, which are pretty much one and the same. You know, all of these different variants of Christendom, they're loosely based off the Bible. Okay, so those chicken nuggets look like chicken, taste like chicken, but who's to say that it's all 100% white breast meat? That's what this says on the advertisement. But if you were to dissect it and look into it, it might not be all chicken byproduct meal, things of that nature. So the writer is saying, oh, everyone that thirsteth. So if you thirsty or you want something to eat, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye buy and eat. So you don't need no money. In order to buy this food that will really fill you up, not the junk food that you've been eating for years, that you continue to go back for, and you're getting fat, you're becoming obese. On a spiritual level, you're gaining, diabetes and all of these different ailments. The Most High is saying, buy of me, but you don't even need any money, and you can have some good food, some good home cooking, some soul food, if you will, spiritual soul food for your soul, without any money, free of charge. And this food that you will eat will be well unto you. It will do you well, and it'll taste good. It says here, verse 2, hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. So when you eat this, you know that not only will your taste buds or your spiritual man will be pleased with it, but you know that it will benefit you as well. Okay? It's nothing better than having a meal that tastes good, and then once you're finished with the meal, you don't feel bloated and, feeling all crazy like when you eat a lot of this junk food. It'll satisfy your palate while you're eating it, but then sometimes you have a bitter experience after consuming that food. Or you end up, getting the runs or something and having to go to the toilet, just being real, because it's junk food. It's junk food. And now your endorphins, there's a chemical imbalance there. Now your body is dependent on this junk food because those chemicals that are in there are altering your body. So spiritually, when you think about it, if you think about these false doctrines, especially Christianity, as the chief one, that big old bag of chips called Christianity, right? That big old nasty bag of Doritos with all that trans fat. Christianity, the black Christian church, our people that sit up and eat a big old fat bag of Doritos and lick the orange petroleum juice off their fingers, right? And the thing is that they eat that big old bag and still be hungry. Still be hungry. They're not gaining any truth. They're not gaining any understanding. Okay? You can eat a bag of Doritos and it'll taste good, but you'll still be hungry. But the Heavenly Father's saying, eat of me. I have some good food. Meat and potatoes. And a glass of wine. And a salad. I have a full course meal for you to consume. Your soul will delight in this. In fatness, meaning that it's not such a light meal to where you're like, okay, this was good, like a little soup. But, I'm still a little hungry. I can still nibble on something. No, when you get there, I'm good and full. But I don't feel weighed down. I'm good and full. Let's read it one more time. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread? So why are you going and buying a big old bag of chips if you hungry? Take the time and invest in some food that will truly do you good. Invest in some food that's going to do you good, not a big old bag of chips, not a gallon of ice cream and calling that dinner. That's what our people have done on a spiritual level if you're looking at these false doctrines. Talking about I'm hungry, I'm starving after a long day. And you go and grab the Haagen-Dazs. That's not a meal. That's junk food. You need to be weaned off of that. But you've been having ice cream for dinner for so long that you don't know no different. You think that's sufficient for a meal. Doritos and ice cream is not sufficient for a meal. What's wrong with you? But that's what our people have done. They need to be weaned off the junk food. So he's saying, why are you eating that which is not bread? Ice cream and deodorant, I'm about to say deodorant, and Doritos, got petroleum and deodorant too, right? And Doritos are not a meal. That's not bread. That's not what our ancestors ate. Okay, if you be spiritual. And your labor for that which satisfieth not. So your labor, so meaning you're spending your money, spending your time and your effort, and the goal is a bag of Doritos? The goal is some Chips Ahoy, cookies? That's the goal? Not a filling, full meal, meat and potatoes meal, but a bag of Doritos? That's the end game? Hearken diligently unto me and eat ye that which is good. Eat some good food, some healthy food, food that will nourish your spiritual man. And let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come unto me here, and your soul shall live. So when you eat of this good food, this spiritual food, the truth of the Bible, when we cleave unto that, we shall live. But when we eat this junk food, we gonna die. Just like on a natural level, when you continue to eat the junk food and you don't have a balance, and you don't eat any food that's good for you, all you do is eat junk food, you're on a fast track to death. You're not going to extend the years of your life because this junk food was designed to kill you. In the same way, these false doctrines were designed to destroy you and to lead you astray. Okay? Here, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Okay, from there, let's go to Sirach, chapter 36, verses 18 and 19. The book of Sirach, chapter 36, verses 18 and 19. We got to get off of the junk food doctrines. Got to get off the Dorito doctrines, man. The Haagen-Dazs doctrines. You got to get off of that. It's not doing you any good. You're just gaining fat. We got a whole bunch of fat around the midsection spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Now we're fatigued because that's what the junk food do. It doesn't just make you gain weight, but there's a lot of different deficiencies that come along with it. You find yourself being fatigued a lot. You're drained of energy. Your libido is lost. You know what I'm saying? Your memory is foggy. All these things are a byproduct of you overindulging in junk food. So in the same way spiritually, when our people consume this junk food, these false doctrines, right? Spiritually, we can't discern anything. That's why when the men the men of the Most High tried to bring this truth out to our people, we kick against it. Just like people who love junk food, they don't like to eat a salad. So when you bring in a salad, even if it's a very nice salad with vegetables, and it's not just the run-of-the-mill, grab a, what's it called? The assorted vegetable little bag out of Walmart and some ranch. I'm not talking about that, but I mean like a very good house salad or Caesar salad or whatever, or avocado, southwestern chili, a really good salad. Our people still don't want to eat that. Now, where the meat at? Where the potatoes at? Where the dessert at? I want some of that. Our people are, they are addicted to the junk food. So in the same way, our people are addicted to these false doctrines. They are addicted to white Jesus. You can demonstrate to them in the scriptures that Christ is a black man and that the Israelites were black. And our people will refuse to obey and hear it. And I don't want to hear that no more. I'm trying to give you meat and potatoes and a Caesar salad, and you said, just give me my bag of Doritos and get out of my face. Just give me my Twizzlers. Just give me my gummy bears. Okay, just give me my honey buns, my cinnamon rolls. Just give me that. Give me the junk food. Give me all the processed food. They don't want no bitter herb. Because bitter herb, it may not taste good to the palate, but it's as we read in Isaiah, ye shall live. Your soul will delight in it. Okay? What is that? Is it arugula?
Arugula is not as bitter as watercress.
Well, but it is bitter though, right?
Yes.
And it is used in salad.
Yes.
But when the composition of the salad has the balance of somewhat bitter herb along with, neutral greens, if you will, spinach, lettuce, you know what I'm saying? And then you have other vegetables, bell pepper and tomato and whatever else you might have in there, feta, cheese, or they don't put mozzarella,
cucumbers, celery,
parmesan, all of it. When you have that balance of assorted tastes and textures, now you have a meal. Because a salad, a good salad, a big salad can be very filling and very delicious. You have a meal and you have all of these different components and elements of this salad that have a different taste, a different feel, and they have a different health property to improve your overall well-being. Them Doritos will not. All it will do is satisfy your taste buds. But it will draw you closer and closer and closer to the grave. All right. Sirach, chapter 36, verses 18 and 19. Go ahead and read that for me, please.
The belly devoureth all meats, yet is one meat better than another. As the palate tasteth divers kinds of venison, so doth an heart of understanding false speeches.
So you see here in the book of Sirach, correlating meats or foods to different understandings or different doctrines or different beliefs. So it says the belly devoureth all meats, yet one meat is better than another. So when it's saying meat, it can be thought of as the flesh of animals, meat that we consume, or just meals, different meals or food that we try, right? One is different from another. So one person might like beef, another person like chicken, another person might like fish, another person might like lamb. They're all good. They're all delicious when they're done well and cooked with the blood out of it, of course, seasoned well. They can all taste wonderful. But some might prefer this particular meat over another, right? But 19. As the palate tasted diver kind of venison meaning of, deer, of flesh of the deer, or meat in general, so doth an heart of understanding false speeches. So if you have a discerning palate, meaning a tongue that has tasted a large variety of foods and meats, venison, then you can, how can I put this? You can just discern between, different kinds of meats, first of all, because you have tried different meats, and you have a refined palate to where you can, find the appreciation in certain meats that other people may not like or may not care for. But if you're a person given unto junk food a lot, right, your palate is not refined. You're not tasting all these different types of venison. You're only stuck on one type of meat, one type of food. Okay? And your palate is not refined. You cannot discern these things. So false speeches or false doctrines, you cannot discern. Your palate is not refined. Your palate, your tongue cannot taste that which is not food, if that makes sense. Okay? So when it comes to someone that's refined, if you give them something that doesn't taste good or something that's not true quality food, they're not going to enjoy it. That's false speech. That's false food. That's not real. If you have someone who's wealthy and they're accustomed to having, a grade A steak or whatever the case might be, right? They're only accustomed to having fine wine and having, how else do you word it? Not top of the line, but just having high quality food. That's all I can say. High quality food. When chefs come and prepare their meals, and it's high quality. They're only accustomed to eating that. If you lay before them a McDonald's burger, they're not going to enjoy that. They're not going to enjoy it because their palate is accustomed to having diverse kinds of meats. Okay? So in the same way, they can discern, you know, when they're having fresh Angus beef, right? They know what that tastes like. Their palate is refined. They know what that tastes like. If you try to come with the okie doke and give them grade A Angus beef, right? And you lay that before them and they're tasting it and they're, no, this isn't it. No, this is right up. No, this isn't fresh. Just like you were told, right? So we're under the illusion that when we go to Walmart, go to Price Right, go to any of these grocery stores and we buy our meat, right? It's all bubblegum pink. And we think, you know what I'm saying? We think that that meat is fresh because it has an expiration date on it. It's packaged. We don't know any better. We don't have a farm where we raise cattle and we slaughter these things and we see what fresh meat look like. But we see that bubblegum pink meat and we think that's fresh meat. But then when you go to a halal store or you go to a kosher butcher and they tell you, and you go and look at the meat, and you see the meat is like the burgundy, the color of this Bible, you know, burgundy colored. And you're like, what's wrong with this meat? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with this meat. This meat is fresh. But the meat I get is like bubblegum pink. Yeah, because that meat is old. Old? Yeah, that meat is old. This is fresh meat. The blood, you know, because it still looks like blood when it's, you know, freshly cut out of a body, not blood that's been dried up, or I don't know what they're pumping hormones into it and they're giving it that pink color or whatever they're doing. Meat isn't supposed to look like that. If you cut open a cow, it's not going to be bubblegum pink. It's going to be deep red because the flesh is filled with blood.
And it's not going to have a smell to it.
Yeah.
A strong smell.
So my wife, when we were having lamb for Passover and different things, you know, a few years ago, she didn't enjoy the taste. She would say it tastes too gamey. But that's when she was buying lamb from Walmart. So all of this is tying into us having to be weaned off of the junk food doctrines. Okay? Because we're using Sirach to see that meats and divers meats and one with a refined palate can discern between false speeches or false doctrines. So when she was having that Walmart lamb, she's like, I don't like this. And maybe without even knowing, her palate was more refined than she knew. To me, it was all right. It tastes fine to me. Maybe my palate's not as refined as hers is. But when she was eating that Walmart lamb, it's like, I don't really care for the lamb. I know we have to eat it, but it tastes too gamey. But when she went to the halal store and discovered their lamb and brought it home, first of all, it looked different. And then secondly, when she cooked it, it didn't smell the same. And then thirdly, when she ate into it, she like, this tastes good right here. I can get down with some lamb. This is what lamb tastes like? I thought lamb tasted like that junk we was eating from Walmart. That junk food. Oh, this the real food? So if you be spiritual, think about that. The Most High saying, come in Isaiah, come eat this real food. Don't eat the junk food. Don't eat the Walmart lamb. Come eat real fresh lamb that was just slain. You know what I'm saying? The meat prepared according to the Levitical way. Come eat this meal. This savory meat that Isaac enjoyed. Come eat this meal right here. Not the Walmart, you know what I'm saying? Price Right, Shop Right. Lamb?
That's where I was getting it from, Price Right.
Yeah.
The lamb.
Oh, that's where it wasn't Walmart? Does Walmart have lamb?
No, I haven't seen any lamb at Walmart.
Okay. Well, even their beef. Their beef is bubblegum pink.
No, their beef is like red, like this almost, and that's not fresh because they're putting color in it. When you go to the halal store, though, it look like that. It looks good, like the way meat is supposed to look it, and it doesn't have a stench. It has a smell to it that it should not have. It's not fresh. Just like we told about fish. Fish shouldn't have that strong smell when you getting fresh fish, and it should be dark as well, not bright red.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Okay, from there, let us go to somebody playing their music. Can you grab me Psalms chapter 34, verse 8? Psalms chapter 34, verse 8.
They're not going really fast enough. You ready?
Yeah.
Psalms 34 and verse 8. Oh, taste and see that Yahweh is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him.
So again, this verse here is similar to what was said in Isaiah, but making a connection between the truth of God's word and food. Oh, taste and see. So with your palate, with your tongue, oh, taste and see that Yahweh is good. Okay? Come try of me. Buy of me food. Buy me milk and wine and bread with no money, no price. You don't have to pay anything for this. It's absolutely free. It's reserved for the children of Israel. Come and eat this. Why labor for that which satisfieth not, which is not even bread? Why are you paying top dollar for old meat? Why are you paying top dollar for GMO, hyper hormoned, fake old meat? Why? You go to Walmart, try to pay for some beef or something like that, it's like $18 or something. Like, why? It's not even quality. It's old, processed. You pumping hormones and different chemicals inside of it. I remember somebody saying years ago, I don't know how true it is. Was it you maybe?
I think it was Watchmen, Yahoo, because he used to work around meat in a butcher or something.
Well, the story was that you put the meat on the table, on the counter, and it started moving. I heard this years ago where someone was placed it on the table, and they went and did something, came back, and it was like it moved across the counter. It was moving. You know what I'm saying? This is what we put in our body. This junk food is what we putting in our body. Dead meat that's moving. Esau done pumped so much stuff in to make it look fresh that it's alive. It's alive. This meat is alive and moving across the counter. We got to be weaned off of the junk food doctrines. You know what I'm saying? And if, you know, some of the stuff that we're eating is that harmful, then we need to be weaned off of the junk food for real. On a natural level as well. Not only the spiritual, but as well as the natural. Do our best in the land of our captivity to try to eat some sort of organic. But, you know, even if we're not planting and growing the crops ourselves, if we're not raising cattle ourselves and, you know, having either ourselves or someone close to us that we know will, you know, cut the meat in a kosher way, there are no guarantees that the meat or the food that you're purchasing, although it may have an organic tag on it, there's no guarantee that that's fresh and that it's truly organic. Because everybody's on that wave now. Slacky. So they can take the same old meat, maybe pump a little more blood dye in it, and slap an organic sticker on it and say that's organic, and people will pay $7 extra for the same old junk with more chemicals in it. Just because of the illusion that, look, it's organic. I eat only organic stuff. Oh, you think you in the land of your captivity. If you ain't growing the crops and raising the cattle, you don't know what you consuming. You have no idea. Okay, so, oh, taste and see that Yahweh is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him. Trusteth in his law, trusteth in his word. That's not going to be given unto the junk food, but want some real food. Oh, taste and see. Try it out for yourself. As LeVar Burton would say, you don't have to take my word for it. You know what I'm saying? Taste and see. Try it out for yourself. All you eat is Doritos and Haagen-Dazs. Try out this food and see if it serve you right. This ain't bad. This ain't bad. Okay. You can have as much as you want without price. All praises.
All praises.
Okay, from there, go back to Sirach, chapter 24, verses 19 through 23. Back to the book of Sirach, chapter 24, verses 19 through 23.
Okay. 24th chapter of Sirach, 19 through 23. Come unto me, all ye that be desirous of me, and fill yourselves with my fruits.
So this is speaking of wisdom, and she's saying, fill yourself with my fruit. So again, wisdom, which is the law, which is the word of God, right? The commandments of God, again being compared to food. Eat, fill yourself with my fruit. So again, oh, taste and see that Yahweh is good. Fill yourself with wisdom, with her fruits. Read.
Verse 20, for my memorial is sweeter than honey, and mine inheritance than the honeycomb.
So again, she's comparing her qualities likened unto good food, pleasurable food, good to the palate, but then good for the soul as well. So you see that correlation being drawn between quality food and quality understanding. Okay? Read.
21. They that eat me shall yet be hungry, and they that drink me shall yet be thirsty. He that obeyeth me shall never be confounded, and they that work by me shall not do amiss.
So she's saying here that they that eat me shall yet be hungry. So it's not to say that you won't be filled, but like when you're on the junk food, when you got that junk food diet, you're addicted to the junk food. So your next meal most likely is going to be junk food because that's all you're accustomed to eating. But when you eat well, right? She's saying that you will yet be hungry, meaning when the hunger comes back, your next meal is going to be more wisdom, more understanding. You're going to want to add to that plate. That's what she's saying. She's not saying you eat in like, man, I feel empty inside, and man, I want something else. I want some. No, you're not going to feel that. You're going to be full, but then you're going to have a stronger desire later for more. You shall yet be hungry. You shall yet be thirsty. Say, that was good. I want some more of what I had yesterday. That was delicious. Wisdom, understanding, knowledge, spiritual discernment. You're going to want more of it in the time to come. You shall grow and increase in these things. Okay, read on.
Verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High Yahweh, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregations of Jacob.
So all of these things that were mentioned, that were talked about, because verse 1 of chapter 24, wisdom shall praise herself and shall glory in the midst of her people. Okay, so we know this is referring to wisdom, but all of these qualities can be found here in verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for a heritage unto the congregations of Jacob. That's the Bible. So all of these wonderful foods, right? Wisdom, knowledge, understanding, spiritual discernment, glory. That's the delicious food. So when you're thinking about a smorgasbord of delicious food placed before you to consume and to devour, that is the book of the covenant. That is, so each of the books of the Bible, the writings of the prophets, these are all different meals that come together to make a wonderful, wonderful, help me out
Diet.
here. Not diet, but wonderful spread. A wonderful spread. The table is set with wonderful food. It's not a platter of Doritos and, cookies and brownies and stuff like that, which that's good. That's good, you know, within moderation, but that's not a meal. That's not a meal. You know, white people like to have donuts in the morning for breakfast all the time. You know, as a teacher, that's what you had to deal with, bagels and donuts. It's like, yo, bruh, I don't want bagels and donuts every morning. You know what I'm saying? Can I have like an actual breakfast? Can I have an actual meal? Okay. So the book of the covenant is like a delicious spread of all types of quality foods, not processed stuff. Whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You know, like one of the better places I've gone to in the past was Mario's. You know what I'm saying? Italian eatery, nice restaurant. It's closed down now, or did they move it?
They did move it.
Oh, they moved it? I haven't been there since, but going there, they had all these, you know, different foods out, you know what I'm saying? And you could go up there and grab whatever you wanted, and it was all delicious. All of it was delicious. You know what I'm saying? And you wanted to come back. So just like wisdom is saying, and you shall yet hunger, you shall yet thirst. So you eat it, and it's not like it's, this don't taste that good, or I feel empty. It's like, man, this is so good. I gotta get some more. This is delicious. That's the mindset when it comes to wisdom. And your soul shall be satisfied in it. Your flesh man gonna be satisfied in the junk food. You gonna go back for more of that, but you're gonna be slowly dying. It's killing you softly, killing you slowly. Okay, and it's just a matter of time before you start packing on the pounds. You know what I'm saying? Your skin don't look as good. You starting getting acne and everything. You know, like, again, your thoughts are foggy. You start to become more fatigued. When you start gaining a lot of weight and you eating a lot of junk food, them joints start swelling up on you. Yeah, I know all about that. Your ankles start swelling, your feet start hurting. It hurt just to take a shower. I know all about that. Yeah, when you gaining weight eating nothing but junk food, I know all about that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get weaned off of the junk food doctrines. You got to be weaned off of that spiritually and for our people physically. We cannot be gluttonous as a people physically. We have to learn to eat in moderation. We got to learn to fast. We got to learn to push this plate aside and be weaned off of the junk food doctrines. Sometimes that's the only way to get off the junk food, to just not eat anything. You know, different specialists, nutritionists will say that intermittent fasting is very important for the body, because during, like, a lot of times when you're obese, morbidly obese, you know, according to the BMI, the body mass index, you know, if you're over 200 pounds, like under 6 foot, then you're overweight. You know what I'm saying? And when you're accustomed to eating a lot, right? You usually you eat late at night, which is not good for your body, because your body needs that time of not eating, needs that time of a fast to be able to generate those properties within your body to heal you. If you're continuing to eat perpetually and you're not giving your body the adequate time to rest as well as to rid itself of the toxins, then you're overloading your organs, and it's only causing health ailments, diabetes, and all of the rest of the stuff that our people are plagued with, the gout and all of that stuff. Eating pork and eating greasy, nasty food, unclean, abominable foods, junk food full of sugar, full of trans fat, all of this different stuff. Pork rinds, all of that. With hot sauce, chitlins, all this different stuff our people eat, they consume. And if it's not that, just sugary, sweet foods, salty foods they eat continually, they never give their body a chance, a fighting chance, to combat all of that fat that you're consuming. And so just like a computer, right? If a computer has a lot of, if the data is being, not data, but the hard drive is full of files and documents, and you know the RAM is being filled up with all types of stuff, it's going to run slower. So your body is being filled up with a lot of fat and food. You're going to gain weight and you're going to move slower. You're going to see the effects of this junk food diet. You're going to see the effects, the negative effects on your body that will begin to take its toll. And the older you get, the more profound it becomes. And you find yourself having to go on dialysis because all you did was consume junk food over the course of your life. And you did not invest in eating that which is good. So on a spiritual level, our people are going to the grave with that, you know, chicken wing in their fist, clutched in their fist, eating it, fat as can be, obese, on the gurney, with a pork chop in their hand, refuse to let it go. Will you not? Like the Most High said in Isaiah, why labor for that which satisfieth not, which is not bread? You on your way to death. You on your way to the grave, bruh. You on dialysis and you still want to sit up and eat this junk food? What's wrong with you, man? Who raised you? What's wrong with you? You got to give that stuff up. Did we read all the? Yeah, we read all the Sirach. Okay, from there, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8, verses 2 and 3. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verses 2 and 3.
Deuteronomy chapter 8, verses 2 and 3. And thou shalt remember all the way which Yahweh thy king led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh doth man live.
Okay, so we see, again, a comparison here being made with the law of God and with food. Okay, so he said that he took our people through, our great ancestors, through the wilderness to humble them, to try them, to test them, to see if you're gonna keep my commandments or not. Okay, are you gonna walk upright? Are you gonna eat that food which is good for you? Or you're gonna eat that junk food? Okay, verse 3. And I suffered thee to hunger. I suffered thee to hunger. So just like I was talking about intermittent fasting. Fasting is important for us, spiritually as well as physically. You just eating all the time is not healthy. But Esau has taught us that we need to be eating continually. 3 meals a day.
Snacks.
And snacking in between. I've heard even 6 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But when you go, if you were to look at the lifestyle of some of these elite people, they don't eat that much. A lot of them go days and days and days and days without eating. A lot of these vegans, they go days and days and days and days and days without eating or drinking. But you got these puppet doctors telling us we need to be eating perpetually. Get up and eat something. Whenever you feel hungry, put some in your mouth and eat it. That's what we've been taught. That's why our people are physically obese and spiritually obese, because that same mentality when it comes to eating, which is so important, it's a vital function. You have to eat to survive. But the scripture is even saying man cannot live by bread alone, but by the words of God, the book of the covenant that was given to Moses for the people. Okay, but we had that mentality spiritually as well as we do physically. Whenever you feel hunger, Satisfy that by eating whatever you can get your hands on. So if you out and you driving, or you hear your stomach growling, let me pull over to McDonald's. Let me pull over to Burger King. Let me pull over, to Taco Bell and get something to eat because I felt an urge of hunger. Have you ever been taught to discipline yourself to fight through that and just not eat for a while? Why? But I'm hungry. But you labor for that which satisfieth not, which is not bread, to go eat some junk food? If you feel that, why not go and get yourself some carrots, some celery sticks, have a salad, eat a fruit, drink a fruit smoothie, drink some water. Sometimes that will curb your appetite. Just drink some water. Nah, but I want a Whopper with cheese and onions, and I want some chicken McNuggets. For that which is not food. But he said, I suffered you to hunger. You had to learn to go without for a little bit. You needed a little bit of a fast. And then when it was time to eat, I provided you the good food. Angels' food, the scriptures say, manna from heaven. I sent you good food. But you complained and said, I don't want that. I don't want the good food. I want the junk food. I want the junk that I had when I was in captivity. I want that junk food. Give me some of that Egyptian junk food. I'm sick of this manna. And he was wroth with us. Verse 3 again. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh doth man live. So he provided manna from heaven so that you know that you don't have to depend on the junk food. I have food for you to eat. And the food that I have for you to eat is better than anything you can find out here. Okay? Because he said those that were obedient to gather the amount of manna on the appropriate amount of manna on the appropriate day, their manna did not stink. But for those who were disobedient and gathered more than they were supposed to, what happened? It spoiled. It rotted and stunk. And it bred worms because they were disobedient. That demonstrates right there that man lives not by bread alone, but by the grace and power of our God, that he will provide food and nourishment and sustenance for his people whenever they need it. But it says he suffered them to hunger. So you had to go a little bit without food. Because there was an instance where they said, we need water for us and our cattle. I'm hungry. Moses, you gonna feed us? So I suffered you to hunger for a little bit, to try you, to humble you. You needed to be humbled. You need to be taken off the junk food doctrine. So our people were delivered out of Egypt, but they still had that Egypt mentality. Okay? All the junk food was tossed out of the cabinets and out of the pantry, but they still had an urge for the junk food. Looking, I think I got a Snicker bar somewhere. Yo, I'm trying to provide you healthy. I got rid of all the junk food. I put health food in there. I don't want that health food. Because somebody, remember my mom was living with us and she was trying to go get, Jonathan, can you go to the corner store and go get me some? Yearning for some junk food. I can't take this. I got to get some junk food. Okay? All right, from there, let's go to Isaiah chapter 30, verses 9 and 10. Back to the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verses 9 and 10. After this, one more scripture will be done.
Isaiah chapter 30, verses 9 and 10. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahweh.
Salakia. So we read in Deuteronomy that he humbled us in the wilderness, our ancestors, right? He took us out of Egypt, but we still had the Egypt mentality. He got rid of all the junk food. We still was yearning for it. What's the old saying? You can
Can't take the horse to the water.
Not that one. It's you can take the boy out the country, but you can't take the country out the boy. So you can take us out of Egypt, but you can't take the Egypt out of us. All right? You can take away the junk food, but you can't take, that urge away. We still wanted it. Okay? And now the prophet is saying, this is a rebellious people. I wanted you to fast a little bit, try to get that junk food out of your system. And then I gave you manna. I gave you, bread from heaven. That wasn't good enough for you. Rebellious, lying children. I don't want this. I want the junk food. Read on.
Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceit.
So again, having to be weaned off of the junk food doctrines, that's the name of the lesson. And we're seeing here in the scriptures that righteous understanding and the book of the covenant, the law, wisdom of God, these things are correlated to high quality food that will satisfy, not junk food. Okay, so now we're taking it back to the spiritual. Okay, our people spiritually are addicted to these junk food doctrines and beliefs, Christianity especially. Okay, and when the men of the Most High are bringing forth the truth to our people, bringing forth the gospel, right? The good food for them to consume. Oh, taste and see that Yahweh is good, right? When they're bringing this food, they don't want it, right? Let's read it again, verse 10. Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not. So if these prophets and seers were likened unto chefs, right? Likened unto food preparers. They're preparing food and trying to give you a plate of food for you to eat. I don't want that. But ain't you hungry? No, I don't want that. Well, what do you want? Oh, this is what they want. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. I don't want that good food on the plate. Give me some junk food. Where the Doritos at? Where the Haagen-Dazs at? Where the Twizzlers and the gummy bears? Where's the honey buns and the Chips Ahoy? Smooth things. Deceit. Give me that. That's what I got a hankering for. I want some pork rinds. I just want some smothered pork chops. That's what I want. It just hit my taste buds just right. I want some bacon. I want a bacon cheeseburger. That's what I want. But I'm providing quality food for you to eat. Nah, I don't want that. Give me smooth thing. Give me something greasy. Something that is just salty and sweet. Just give me that. But man, that's gonna weigh your stomach down. I don't care. Just give me that. Give me smooth things. Give me deceit. That's what I want. I want the junk food. I want the MSG. I want the GMOs. I want the processed junk. Give me that. That's what my taste buds want. That's what my spirit man wants. I want the deceit and the smooth. Okay? We're done there. Let us go to last scripture. Numbers chapter 11. A few verses. 4 through 6. Verse 10. And then verses 18 through 20. So again, that's Numbers chapter 11. Verses 4 through 6, verse 10, and verses 18 through 20. Go ahead.
Okay, Numbers chapter 11, verses 4 through 6. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a-lusting. And the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat?
So when we read in Deuteronomy 8, talking about I suffered thee to hunger and then I fed you with manna, this is it right here. Okay, so they fell a-lusting, right? And they were wanting that junk food, right? They wanted that false doctrine, that idolatry. They wanted that. And the Most High gave them unto hunger to try to drive that lust out of their spirit. And then they asked, what we gonna eat? I'm hungry now. I'm really, really hungry. Most High, what we gonna eat? Read.
Verse 5. We remember the fish. Sorry. That's so loud.
Now pay attention to verse 5 here, because we're correlating that between spiritually the wisdom of God, the book of the covenant, which is the quality food, the good food, the healthy food, and then false doctrines, falsehood, smooth things, deceit, which is the junk food. So the Most High in Deuteronomy 8 said, I suffered you to hunger, then I fed you with manna, but you weren't pleased with that. You didn't want that. Okay? But here we're seeing that the Most High wanted to provide them with something, but they had a lust in their heart. They wanted something out. They had a different hankering for something. Read verse 5.
We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic.
Salakia. So they remember all the junk food. Now, when you look at this, these foods in particular are not junk food. But just for sake of argument, to see that they lusted for the things that were yet in Egypt. And Egypt is representing that which is false. Idolatry, that old way of life, the old man. Okay? Junk food doctrine. So the Most High was prepared to, as the scriptures say, to nourish a table in the wilderness for his people. To make a delightful spread for them to eat. They were still lusting for the old ways in Egypt. Man, we used to have fish. We used to have cucumbers and melons and garlic and leeks and all that, man. You remember that? Used to fry them up and cook them, man. That fried fish in Egypt. And the Most High is just looking at him like, wow, really? Really? Like I can't provide fish. Like I can't provide any of this stuff for my people. But you don't want. You say to the seers and the prophets, see not, prophesy not. But what do you want to eat? I want smooth things. I want the garlic and the leek and the fishes of Egypt. Give me that. Give me the Doritos and Haagen-Dazs. Give me some of that. That's what I want. That's what I got a hankering for. Read.
Verse 6. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all beside this manna before our eyes.
So the good food is here. Wisdom and understanding, spiritual discernment is here where the manna is concerned. I don't want that. We dried up. Meaning there's nothing to eat. You got our people, our ancestors, but the same applies today. Our ancestors on diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and all that extra junk, right? On their last leg. And what they need is some good food, some healthy food. And their stomach is growling. And they got and all this manna is sitting up on the table. And they got the nerve to say ain't nothing here to eat. Man, ain't nothing here to eat. All it is this manna. I'm sick of this. I want deceit and smooth things. And all there is wisdom, righteousness, and holiness. And I'm sick of this. Read.
Verse 10. Then Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled greatly. Moses also was displeased.
So the people were so distraught because they couldn't have their junk food. They began to cry. They began to weep. This is what happened. And it displeased the Most High and it displeased Moses. This was the prophet. This was the chef that wanted to provide the food for them. And they said to Moses, prophesy not, see not. I'm sick of this man. Can you go back to the Most High? It's like the waiter and the chef. The chef made something delicious and the waiter's bringing it out to you and said, here you go, bon appetit, and laid the platter before you. The chef labored over this meal. This chef labored over this meal and laid it on the table before you. And then you got the nerve to open up the lid and look at it and like, looking at it like, I don't know. I don't know about this. Can you send this back? Send it back? What seems to be the problem? I don't like this. Like, what's this? What's that? What's this and what's that? Well, this is the special. The chef made it up, and he's renowned for this dish. But that's not real. Can you tell him to make me this? Well, okay. Take it back. And he takes it back and say he wasn't pleased with it. What? Wasn't pleased? What's wrong with it? I know I did everything right. What seems to be the problem? They just don't like it. They don't like it. They want something else. What? They want something else? I labored over this stove to make them a quality dish. A dish wherein I'm renowned for. And they're telling you to send it back? because it's not what they want. So the Most High was displeased and Moses was displeased. The Most High God is the chef and Moses is the waiter who's serving the children of Israel. And the children of Israel said, I don't like that. What's this? I don't eat onions. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't eat this. That's nasty. Send that back. And Moses looking like, what? The chef ain't gonna be happy about this. The chef ain't gonna be happy about this. Okay, read on.
Verses 18 through 20. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. For ye have wept in the ears of Yahweh, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat?
Salakia, so I brought you a meal. You said you didn't like it just because it wasn't to your liking. Not that it wasn't good. Because taste and see that Yahweh is good. So all my food is good. Oh, I can cook, I can throw down. So you can't tell me the food wasn't good. You just didn't have a taste for what I made. I labored over the stove and gave you fresh lamb and all the, I don't like that. Can I have some, what's that like stuff, like chicken fingers and nuggets and French fries? You know what I'm saying? Like a Friendly's Denny's meal or something. Can I have that? Some barbecue sauce, some chicken fingers, and the fries, like the Ore-Ida fries with the smiley face in it. Can I have that with some ketchup? If you don't get out my face with that, I gave you a good meal. You talk about you want some smiley face French fries. But that's what the children of Israel said. And they sitting up there, upset because they can't have that. Right? Read verse 18 again.
And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. For ye have wept in the ears of Yahweh, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore Yahweh will give you flesh, and ye shall eat.
Read.
Ye shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but even a whole month, until it come out at your nostrils, and it be loathsome unto you, because that ye have despised Yahweh which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt?
This is the judgment of the Most High God to our great ancestors, and this applies to us as well, in that they complained because they didn't get what they wanted. They couldn't get that junk food. He said, okay, you don't want my food? I labored. Just like growing up. When mom made it's not like these new parents that make a meal and lay it before your 6-year-old. I don't want that. Oh, you don't want that? What do you want? I want pizza and French fry. I want pizza and French fry. Okay, let me go order a pizza. No. It didn't go down like that in my household growing up. Mom would put out what was to eat. And if you didn't want that, guess what? You would starve. You would starve. And you can act like I didn't want to eat that, but want your stomach start reaching to your back. Then that, whatever it is, meatloaf start looking real good to you. Man, that meatloaf look delicious.
And it'll be good.
It'll taste good too. I don't want meatloaf. All right. Well, when you go and you be hungry, that meatloaf will still be sitting there. Mama didn't take the meatloaf back and say, oh, okay, what do you guys want? You don't want meatloaf? What do you want? No. But the Most High is saying, okay, you want junk food? I'm going to give you junk food until it come out your nostrils. Because I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all. Because you despised me. It's not so much you despised the food that I presented you. You despised me. Because what person would be so inconsiderate not to think about the time and effort that went into a meal being prepared for you? But as soon as you see it, I don't want that. Take it back. Give me something else. You despise me. Okay? So we're going to leave it there for today. We're going to finish the rest another day. But our people have to be weaned off of these junk food doctrines and come back to the Most High God and stop complaining. Stop, trusting in deceit and falsehood, and keep